This is Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty. This is Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Citizens. I'm your host, fastcart FC. Today is March 17th, at least in North and South America. Happy St. Patrick's Day and happy Women's History Month. Today I'm joined by two hosts, but before that I just want to introduce the topic. Today's topic is lore celebrations. We're talking about different holidays that we celebrate in Soul Citizens. But yes, before that, I'm going to get to my co-host, GriffinGamingRPG. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing all right. Are you looking forward to the topic?
Yeah, absolutely. Celebrate. Actually, we've been celebrating all year so far, so I'm going to celebrate some more.
Cool. And I'm also joined by JadeStarwatcher. How are you doing, Jade?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great today.
I know you're excited about this topic. You've been looking forward to this for a while, right?
Yeah, I have. Anything lore, I usually get excited about. So yeah.
Cool.
And it's not just lore with this, because these also, a lot of them correspond to events in game, sales, things like that.
Okay, well, let's get right into it, shall we? First up, we have First Contact Day. Switch over here.
Can we talk about this a little bit before we jump into it? FC, is it okay?
Yeah.
I just want to do a little intro to this.
Okay.
What you guys will know is that when we talk about celebrations, we're going to be talking about, as Jay just said, both items that are a part of the lore that the CIG narrative team have been working on for many years. Some of them you may have just heard briefly about, or you hear them mentioned every once in a while. But then there are other things that you've heard a lot of information about. And as Jade mentioned, a lot of these things are also tied into various annual events that are already actively a part, not just in game, but outside of the game, that we celebrate already. And some of them are parallel to some that, well, they're in line with some things that we celebrate as people today. But we're going to talk about not just that, but one of the things I'm looking forward to is Jade's going to be bringing a lot of those topics that maybe you've heard of it, like it may be called First Contact Day, but maybe you don't know all the details behind that. So we really want to go in depth today so that you guys will understand, once again, the importance of the lore. It's not just about the ship sales, even though there's ship sales, because some of these have no ship sales tied to them. So we really want you guys to sit back and relax on this. There's a lot of information. We're going to put links in that come from both. We want you guys to sit back and relax on this. There's a lot of information. We're going to put links in that come from both. Hang on a second. We want you guys to sit back and relax on this. Audio was looping for some reason.
Yeah, my bad.
That's okay. We're going to be pulling stuff from the Star Citizen Wiki, also from the Galactopedia, as well as just other references that we've pulled too. So just want to give you guys an intro about what this whole celebrations thing is about. So go ahead, Fastcart. I'm sorry.
No problem. Thank you for that. So yeah, it's first contact day. You want to take a stab at that and read that for me, Jade?
Sure. And before I do that, I just want to mention that this is by no means an exhaustive list of all the holidays in Star Citizen. And there's a few important ones that we're going to probably, well, we're not going to get in depth about, like Imperator Day, which is very important. And I urge you to look it up at some point after the show. There's also local holidays for like certain planets or planetary systems. We're going to get into the most important ones relating to you as a player that you should probably know about. And so First Contact Day is an important holiday, obviously, because it's a holiday celebrated by humans in the United Empire of Earth to commemorate the moment that we made first contact with civilizations outside of our own. On the 12th of June, 2438, explorer Vernon Tarr encountered a Banu pilot in the Davian system. And though he initially believed the Banu ship was another human attempting to survey the same area of space, he soon realized his mistake and sent the coordinates to the United Nations of Earth, which predates the UEE. In response, a diplomatic team led by General Neil Sokolovich arrived to smooth out the situation, and the Banu Protectorate made a formal contact 2 weeks later and signed the Interstellar Peace and Trade Accord in October 2438. Humans celebrate the holiday by cooking and purchasing meals from alien cultures, holding parties or small gatherings, and shopping at Banu, Tavarn, and Xi'an businesses. And I know old Lefty probably doesn't like this
I was
holiday.
going to say, you beat me to it. I was just going to say, oh, Lefty must hate this holiday. And Slacker Dog, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. Thank you, Slacker Dog. So yeah, First Contact Day. So what year? 2438. So that's like 400 years after the engine took place in the well,
About 300.
300. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
About
yeah.
300 years after we got the quantum drive up and running, and obviously it's over 500 years in the past from the current Star Citizen year.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, First Contact Day. And any other thought? It's nothing like the Star Trek movie.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
yeah, I was going to say, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's
Jay.
so there's the official story of First Contact Day, and
Mhm.
then there's the story that was sort of uncovered through research. And
Mm.
I don't want to give that away because I think a lot of people probably discover it on their own. But let's just say that it wasn't as clean of a
Mhm.
history as we're led to believe by the UE.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sanitized. This is a sanitized version of what really happened.
Yeah.
To your point, Fastcart, I was going to say my point was going to be that first contact in any science fiction genre has always been interesting how it happens, and it quite often it happens by chance, not because it was necessarily planned. There's almost like kind of a stumbling upon something where you realize that there's this other group or other race or other entity that's in space. So every different types of genres have had their ways of introducing how humanity comes in contact with some other race or some other life form. So I always think this is very cool. I wish that CIG highlighted this just a little bit more, and maybe they will. I'm sure with the lore as it builds out, they will. But I think it's going to be important for us later on when it comes to us exploring in the game the possibilities. I know Jade, there's already 5 races or alien groups that we know of so far, but who's
Right.
to say that CIG won't create something else that we don't know about, right? And what may become first contact for another species or another group, or even another world or system, right? First contact can
Right.
happen in a lot of different ways, which is kind of cool.
To CIG's credit, they do actually sort of recognize it because that is Alien Week.
Mhm, Alien
It's
Week, yep.
around the time of Alien Week.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yep,
can just
absolutely.
imagine. Most of us are shoot first, ask questions later. So I don't think that's going to end well well, depend if the alien is highly advanced, and maybe it'll end well for them. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we're the ones who think we're highly advanced sometimes, when we're not always the case, right?
Exactly. I can just imagine like the day the Earth that coming along and Star Citizen, that would be a trip.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
All right.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
So up next we have the first jump day, which is I kind of alluded to. Griffin, you want to take this one?
Sure. One of the key milestones of human achievement is in lore of Star Citizen is the first jump day, when legendary human astrophysicist and pilot Nick Croshaw discovered and navigated the first jump point on the 10th of April, 2271, and became the first human to visit a planetary system beyond Sol Pax Humana.
Thank you for that. So yeah, first jump day, April 10th. That's coming up, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that is something that
It just
that's
passed. It just passed. It just
right,
passed.
No,
Well, no,
April.
April.
Jade, I'm teasing about you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
You
Oh,
guys.
Yeah,
It just
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got me
Yeah.
looking at
actually
my
a movie.
you got me looking at my phone, looking at the date. I'm like, wait, it's March, not April.
No,
Yes,
but there
yes.
is a movement started by our good friend Paul Shelley, the
Mhm.
astrohistorian, to recognize the day, the in-game first jump,
Mhm.
um, within the lore too. So yeah.
Yeah, I hope they do both. I appreciate the fact that they recognized, was it Mr. Trash?
Yes, Mr. Trash. I talked to him
you know,
today.
yeah, which I think is cool, right? I think ode to the Evocati for going in doing the hard work and also being the ones that are there. But the shared experience obviously is a community one, right? And it
Right.
would be great that when it officially is out there, first person that gets to do it would be recognized as well.
Yeah, and there's some cool backstory to First Jump Day too that a lot of
Mhm.
people may not know is that this happened out in our outer solar system near Neptune, and basically there was a place where a lot of ships disappeared, and
That's
nobody
right.
knew why. They started calling it the Nesso Triangle because
The
yeah,
triangle.
it
Yep.
was. Yep, and it turned out that that was the jump point to the Croshaw system, which is named after Nick Croshaw, who was the first to successfully go through and live to tell about it.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to believe that it wasn't visible back then, or people somehow were, kept on running into it by accident instead of like something being a physical, not a physical thing that we can see, but something we can see. So I'm curious about how to explain that.
So I can give you some plausible physics behind that because out so right, out in our outer solar system it's very dark and there's
Mhm.
no big gas clouds, right? So if you had a jump point, conceivably, a wormhole there, the reason that we can see the jump points in the Stanton system is there's gas clouds around, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
But in our own solar system, if there was a wormhole like this, the only way that we would be able to detect it is if it basically crossed between us and the light of a star, and we got like some
Mhm.
gravitational lensing effect.
Right.
So it is possible. It is very plausible. The story that CIG put forward that ships just encountered
Disappeared.
this without even
Mhm.
knowing and disappeared into it.
I don't know if
Oh,
you remember fastcart in Eve. That's how black holes, well, that's how wormholes looked in Eve. I don't know if you remember that. You could actually be approaching it and not see it, and all of a sudden you'd see a slight distortion
mhm.
that was circular, and that's how you knew you were approaching one. But it would be very easy to go right past it and not see it. In Eve, it was structured that way. So,
Yeah,
yep, definitely can go into like a black hole. Not a black hole, but you could literally go
right,
in and
right.
get too close and not even realize it.
It's been a decade, so I forgot. Yeah, I forgot
No,
all
yeah.
about that. I don't remember,
You
but
didn't.
I
You
take
never
your word
lived in.
for
A,
it.
you never lived in a wormhole.
I did, but it
Oh,
was
okay. Okay.
it was over a decade. So yeah.
Oh, you're not that old. You're not that old.
So yeah, that is the first jump day. So up next we have Armistice Day. I'll take this one. Armistice
Mhm.
Day is a holiday celebrated annually on 29th of May in the United Earth Empire of Earth. It was established in SCY 2792 to recognize the 2789 signing of the Akiri Treaty. Is that how you pronounce that? Akiri Query Treaty.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Curry
Mhm.
Treaty.
Akiri Treaty,
Yes.
okay. Which brought about an unofficial resolution to the Xeon Human Code War 2530 to 2793 and contributed to the event that ended the Mesa era 2546 2792. Many human businesses closed during Armistice Day. The holiday is especially popular on Terra 3, the home of Senator Terrence Akari, who authorized the treaty in secret with a then young Emperor uh, Tung Se Kwe. Okay. I got through that somehow. It wouldn't be me that I picked the hardest one to start reading. So, yeah, Armistice Days, May 29th. Any thoughts?
Jade, I know
Yeah,
you want to talk about it a little bit. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So Armistice Day, to us in, as players is important because that marks the ending of Invictus launch week, which takes place between Emancipation Day, which I think we're going to talk about as well, and Armistice Day. And it is very popular on Terra for obvious reasons. Terra was, sort of the nexus of changing from the Messer regime. And yeah, Armistice Day is celebrated throughout the UAE.
I don't think I have Emancipation Day. What is that?
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, Emancipation Day is a human holiday which commemorates the fall of the Messers, the
Hmm.
end of the Messer era. And it's celebrated on May 2nd every year. So, Invictus launch week happens in between them. Um,
Okay.
in 2795, Aaron Toy, who was the first non-Messer imperator, established Emancipation Day as an official UE holiday.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for that. Like I said, I don't think I have a tab for it, so I didn't know about it. But yeah, so the Armistice Day it comes after Emancipation Day, and yeah,
Yep.
they're pretty big holidays.
Yep. And Invictus falls right in between that week.
Hmm.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you for that. Up next we have. Oh,
Let me. Can I go back a second? Oh, you know what? No, I'll cover it when we get to Invictus. Let's keep going.
okay, yeah, okay. So, Benny Okan, Griffin.
Me? Okay. Abini Okan, 2157 through 2252, was the first human born on a planet other than Earth, Sol 3. Her parents, Kina and Madu Okan, were early colonists of Mars on Sol 4, the first planet successfully terraformed by humans. Okan was lauded in the media as a symbol of human ingenuity and perseverance, partially due to the failure of the first Mars terraforming project in 2125. Though her parents made an effort to keep her safe from the spotlight, she was hounded by media orgs and parasocial strangers. In her late teens, she embraced her fame, making appearances at any party and bar willing to pay her fee, engaging in frivolous spending, and making ill-advised investments. The media that once lauded her began to predict her downfall. However, in her late 20s, she withdrew from the public sphere without explanation and started working in community outreach programs. She moved often and always to areas that needed help. Her final public appearance was in 2232 as the guest of honor at the launching of the colony ship Artemis. She died of natural causes in 2252 and was buried on Mars. Her birthday, March 18, or 18th of March, is celebrated as a human holiday, particularly on Mars.
Oh, that's tomorrow, matter of fact. Hey, what do you know?
How about it? How about it?
It is.
So yeah, Benny Okan. Um, Interesting.
Did you did you know about this one, Fast Cart? Were you aware of this one?
I've heard of it before, but I
Okay.
didn't. I've forgotten more stuff than I can remember after 12 years.
Yeah.
You know how
Yep.
it
I
is.
understand. Yep.
Yeah, I have heard the name before, but yeah. So yeah, any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a few thoughts. I think it's really, really cool. I would love to be able, when we finally get the soul system, be able to go and like pay tribute to her,
Hmm.
visit her grave. I love the backstory of like, because of all that attention, like she started, partying hard. I can relate to that. Um, I also like, like her surname is a very important Nigerian name. So and her mom has a Nigerian first name. So it's just interesting, like maybe she's like related to the 17th century Nigerian king.
Mm.
It would just be kind of cool to have like there be this tie. I think it's cool. I'd love to see how she's portrayed if we ever get like some type of retrospective of how did we end up colonizing the stars. It'd be cool to
Mm.
see her.
I mean, I foresee people, maybe making a machinima about her and calling it Rooch. What do you think?
Yeah.
Don't
You know what?
Jade, don't feed it.
I'm not gonna do
Don't
the joke ban, but you're welcome to
don't
chat.
feed the monster. Actually, I was going to say, Fast Cart, maybe this is the situation that we've talked about we've wanted to embrace in game.
Hmm.
So that might be something to seriously think about. we could take a look at it and do some more research and stuff and see what the lore team says. Because if Jade's right, and this person happens to be of the mother country descent, it would be something very cool to know in game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nomad, we have some Nigerians in chat with us today, so cool.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
All right, so up next we have Anthony Tanaka. Jade, you definitely want to take this one, right?
Oh yes, right. Anthony Tanaka Remembrance Day. Um, so Anthony Tanaka Remembrance Day is a holiday in the United Empire of Earth observed annually on December 3rd. It is held in honor of Anthony Tanaka, who was a child laborer who was publicly executed by an advocacy agent on the 3rd of December, 2757, for refusing to obey an order to continue working. And this is after, working, I think, 11 hours out of a 12-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Footage of his murder was captured and smuggled out of the factory by members of the anti-Messer movement, where it became a symbol of resistance against the cruelty of the Messer government. In 2793, after the events of the anti-Messer revolution, Imperator Aaron Toy signed a declaration from the Senate that recognized the anniversary of Tanaka's death as an official holiday. Traditionally, observers light candles in honor of Anthony Tanaka while they observe a moment of silence. And I would also say it's good to pay pilgrimage when we finally get Levski back, when we get the Nix system. You go to the statue of Anthony Tanaka being held by another worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which I'm curious as to how many people knew that that's what that story was. Because for those who were around back in the Levski days, I know there were some people who actually did ask the question, like, what is this statue about? But I also know a lot of people who just kind of ran past it, and they saw the Remember Anthony Tanaka sign that was there, but never really dug into the lore. But once I found out what the lore was for this, I was pretty fascinated because, I don't call them the messers, I call them the messies, right? When you realize how bad things were, in the system, when you start to understand why the people at Levski or chosen to be at Levski. What is it called? What's it called? The People's, what's the full title?
The People's Alliance of Levski.
Alliance of Levski. You start to understand who they are and why they're there and why they feel the way they do about the UEE. Once you know that.
But doesn't the statue have like a plaque below it? So, people run by it, they won't see it.
That's what I said. That's what I said. It's just a plaque that says "Remember Anthony Tanaka." But I'm saying the whole lore behind it. Yeah, You know how we are. We run past stuff in the game sometimes and don't ask any questions. It's just another object that's there, but it's in a very pronounced location as soon as you come in Levski.
Yeah, and a lot of people that would run by it that would actually look at the sign. They thought the guy that was holding the child was Anthony Tanaka.
Right. Yeah, I think that was me.
Wow.
When I first saw it. Yeah,
wow, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Good point. Thank you for that.
Interesting.
All right, so up next we have Traveler's Day.
Can I go back real quick? I'm sorry for cutting in. I want to ask Jade a question.
Sure.
Jade, how does this reflect with the people at Levski? Like, what is the whole tie-in? Why they decided to choose this as their symbol there at Levski?
Well,
because maybe people don't know the whole history of what's going on there.
So the history of Levski is that it was like a free town for people who were fleeing the Messer regime. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it sort of became one of the nexuses of the anti-Messer movement. So because Anthony Tanaka became, the symbol of the Messer regime's brutality, this holiday has a lot of meaning to the people of Levski for obvious reasons. They constructed that statue in his honor. I would think that had it not been an official UE holiday, it would, definitely be a Nix holiday, right? Because there are these local holidays too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's great that it is a UE holiday because it's trying to show that they're distancing themselves from their past. I feel like, this is an official lore now, but I feel like people at Levski would probably look at that as, hey, here come the tourists. Let's make some money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What distinguishes the people at Levski or Nix versus a place like Pyro?
Right. So there's a difference between Pyro and Nix. A lot of people, they look at them, they see their unclaimed systems, they just go, okay, these are outlaw systems. These are full of pirates. But the difference between Pyro and Nix is Nix has its own government. The People's Alliance of Levski are a government. They have their own security force. They're not a fan of violence. They have banners that say "Peace rule us." Peace rules us. So they really are very egalitarian, live and let live, unless you bring violence to the People's Alliance. And there is another faction in the Nyx system called the Moraine that live out in the belt, out in the Glacium Ring. They're sort of like belters from the Expanse, and they're kind of at odds with the People's Alliance. But both of them probably don't have much love for the UE.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think there are people who just assume that, we hear this term of lawlessness or pirate, and they think that just because something's not under the UEE, that there isn't some structured form of government or legality in some areas, when there are places that you just can't go there and do what you want to do, basically.
Right, exactly. Levski, I think, is going to be a very popular place when it comes back for players that want to have some government, but don't necessarily want like the UE taxes and a lot of the more restrictive kind of laws of Stanton, and eventually like when we get Terra. I think they'll like Levski and the Nyx system because it's not completely lawless like Pyro. They'll have some security. We always talk about, what is it, high sec, low sec, and what's the thing in the middle?
Null sec.
Okay, yeah, low sec. So it might be a low sec system, whereas Pyro would be a null sec system.
Right.
Gotcha.
All right, thank you for that. I think we have Traveler's Day. I forget who. No, I read the last. No, Jade read the last.
It's on you.
Okay. So Traveler's Day. It's an annual holiday observed by the Church of the Journey on January 1st. It originated in the Koshar system in 2905, when a small gathering of journeymen who had grown up together convened to exchange their experiences over the previous year. They repeated their actions the following year and the next, and wherever they were, thus spreading the practice until it became tradition. Traveler's Day activities include storytelling, a potluck feast game, and a 20-kilometer walk known as the pilgrimage that begins at midnight local time. At the end of the walk, stories are swapped until sunrise. The largest Traveler's Day gathering in the United Empire of Earth occurs in New Arden on Castellus, Devian 2, attracting thousands of visitors annually. So Traveler's Day. It's almost like when people just jump into the frozen water. I guess that's a modern day analogy almost. What do you think?
I think it kind of. Well, go ahead, Griff.
No, it's okay. You go ahead. I was going to make a different parallel, so you go first.
No, I was too.
I was going to say there was an interesting parallel here that I saw for those of you who watched Star Wars Andor. There was a sequence there of the people who were the native, I guess you say the native people of this particular planet, who every certain period of time they would celebrate, where there would be this huge meteor shower that would come over. It was a very luminescent kind of thing that would happen, but these people would do the same thing. They would do this pilgrimage to this one particular area, this travel a long distance to celebrate. And I was just going to say, it's interesting how some of these same things, whether some of them do come from our traditions that we have already, where people will make pilgrimages to a certain place for a certain annual day to celebrate something. And we're just kind of seeing a reworking of that being done here also. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to say, is that, because it celebrates the metaphoric beginning of a new journey, it has a lot of parallels with various religious pilgrimages in our real world.
And people do it for scientific reasons. I'm pilgrimaging down to watch the solar eclipse next month
that's
again.
True.
I went last time. I'm going again this time. So.
And this time is going to be the last time in a long time, right?
I know. That's why I'm going. Yeah, because go ahead, Jade.
I was going to say, if you've ever been to a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse, they are addictive. So
it's amazing.
That's why there's eclipse chasers.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you guys haven't done it, I'm going to make that trip to. By the way, who's it? Rad, I'm coming your way. I'm going to be in Indianapolis. I'm driving down, so I'm going to be right in the middle of the path down there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm fortunate because it's gone over Massachusetts, Boston. So
Oh,
as long as we don't have a cloudy day, that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, that's good. Hopefully, that'll be great because it's an amazing. To experience it is truly amazing. It
And
really, really is.
if you want to really get a real good sense of them, try to go out somewhere where there's like not a lot of people, but there is wildlife around
Oh yeah.
because they
Watch how
get
they
really
respond.
quiet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets freaky. It gets freaky. It really
Yeah.
does. And the temperature changes. I mean, it's something else. It really is.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that sounds like a nope to me, but okay. I hope you
Oh
guys enjoy
no.
it.
No, you gotta go, fastcart. You got to. It's great.
Yeah,
But yeah, people like again, pilgrimages are something that have just, like you said, Jay, they've been a part of human history, and something that we can. But I love the fact that they continue that even here.
Yeah, Foundation had an episode in the first season about regarding that.
Yes.
So yeah, it's in sci-fi, fantasy, all over the place. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So up next we have the Stellar Fortuna, but this is the calendar that had everything on that. So you just want to go for Stellar Fortuna, or you want to go through all the different ones?
Well,
that we
let's. I was going to say, can we do them in order? Because let's go back with where we started at the beginning of the year and work our way through. Is that okay?
Okay. So yeah.
Red Festival.
So up first we have the Red Festival, correct? Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Discover the spirit of the Red Festival. Let each new journey lead to health, wealth, and virtue. And wherever the adventure takes you, may you find prosperity and good fortune.
So yeah, the Red Festival. I don't have the thing for that, but yeah.
I'll drop it. I'll drop it in. Don't worry. I'll
Okay.
take care of it.
So yeah, to tell us about the Red Festival.
Oh, you want me to tell you about? Okay, the Red Festival is a celebration of renewal and remembrance with roots in old Earth customs that mark the end of the. Is it lunisolar year, Jay? Lunisolar.
Yeah.
That sound
Yeah.
about right? Lunisolar
Yeah.
year. As an ancient calendar system based on, God, this typing is so crazy. Sol 3 cycles, I guess. Yeah, Luna's Sol 3A cycles, the moon. Okay.
Right.
Celebrants honor the festival with a variety of traditions that differ greatly depending on the system and community participating. Common activities include wearing red, a color that symbolizes good fortune, honoring friends and relatives for sharing stories, and eating foods long in length, such as kolask tentacles or dyed red noodles, and the exchange of gilded and red envelopes representing good fortune to come.
Who wants some noodles? So yeah, for people who may not recognize it, Griffin just said Sol 3, but that's just another name for Earth for people who may not, recognize it.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
said Sol
is Earth.
3A, Sol 3A, Sol
Yeah,
3A.
Sol 3A is the moon. So yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. So yeah, we just had this, and every year the CIG does an annual sale, and they have a event where you collect those red envelopes going around, and are they push? They're not. They do wipe, right? Or do people keep them?
No, they give you a set. If you're a subscriber and stuff, you actually do get a set of those to keep.
I thought everybody this year got them.
Did everybody get them? Okay.
Well, I didn't get mine yet, but if you logged into
We
the
got the
game,
Year of the Dog. That's
Yeah.
the only one we got. This year, I
Right.
think.
No, but they also the
Right.
dragon too. But yeah, there's two of them for this year.
No, but they didn't give us one for the dragon this year.
right, just a year of the dog, and I'm still waiting for mine in my hangar.
Oh, you still don't have yours?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I still don't have mine, but I'm not the only one. I've asked around.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, in the lore of this, it says that recently, instead of handing the envelope directly to a recipient, givers will hide the envelopes for those deemed in need by fate to discover. So that explains why we see them, hidden in different places around the cities during the Red Festival. And Banu often join the festivities, hiding red envelopes in honor of Casa, the patron of luck. So it's become like a human Banu holiday now too.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that is the Red Festival. This was for 2953, but we just had one for 2954. But yeah, people seem to have fun doing those. Were you gonna say something, Griffin?
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you guys think that players will start to embrace some of these aspects? Um, for example, they say that one of the traditions is that you would wear red during that time. And, we'll see like the red armor and stuff go on sale, but we just look at it from that perspective. Oh, they're selling some red armor. It's not because I think they want to promote wear red, during that period of time. Do you think that players will start to do that, especially if the clothing starts to look a little better?
You read my mind, Griff. You totally read my mind. As somebody who's, one of my gameplay loops is fashion citizen. I think that if, CIG, along with the armors that they, sell every year, if they released a bunch of really good looking red clothes around the Red Festival,
Put them on
I think
sale,
you-
yeah.
put them on sale. I think you would, definitely see people wearing them because it would be something new. And you
Yeah.
always see people wear whatever's new that's been introduced. You see them wearing it.
Yeah. CIG, we need seasonal clothing to go up in the shop windows, okay?
Yes,
they
please.
need to go up, and it just should be like leading up to that week or like, just the beginning of that week or something like that. People will have to go there and get it and they can wear it. And then once that celebration's over with, we don't see it again until next year. And next year, do some new designs, not the same designs. Change the designs up each year to make it exciting so that we keep building a collection of those clothes, because I think that would be really cool. Because Jade and I, we're definitely, I can spend just as much time on clothes as I can doing my character stuff. I really can.
Yep.
It's pretty terrible.
All right. So up next we have, the Comor for February. It's the Valentine Day equivalent. So let's take a listen and watch.
Hey, meet me at our spot.
So yeah, that is Cormor. Griffin
You
or
want me to read that
Jade?
one?
Okay. Well,
Jade, if you got it, you want me to read it?
What was that?
Do you have it, or I can read it?
Oh, you can read it.
Okay. Koromor is a holiday celebrated annually in the UEE on the 11th of February. It traces its origins to say 2486, when Yuri Elin disappeared trying to reunite with his lover, Corazon Tan, who had become trapped behind the recently collapsed jump point to the Oratani system. During his search, Yuri would send emotional daily comms to Cora's parents, updating them on his search, the last of which was unintelligible except for anything for Cora Amor. Yuri was never seen again after sending that final message. The story of Yuri and Cora was popularized in the late 25th century, titled Coramor, a portmanteau derived, I hope I'm not slaughtering that, a portmanteau derived from Yuri's final comm. Inspired by the tragic tale of love, people began to exchange romantic messages on the 11th of February, the date of his disappearance. Today, Coramor traditions include the exchange of gifts and comms between lovers, travel to romantic destinations, and the sending of comms into space in hopes of attracting new love. Some celebrants will use the day to send comm messages to lost loved ones. The colors are pink and black, the same as the livery of Yuri's ship in Coramor, as associated with the holiday.
Thank you for that. And for folks listening, I lowered the volume of Griffin and Jade, increased my volume a bit, so hopefully we'll be a bit more even. Yeah, I see now that I'm a bit low, but I'm talking low, so that's probably what it is. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, Coramor. I want to say like 2017 they started doing these, or maybe the year before that, or maybe the year after that. Around 2017 they started doing this, and every year they have these. Well, I say all, but typically it's like ships that you can multi-crew, but mostly for three people, like the 85X or the Reliant, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm calling on. And Jade, I think we're going to talk about how we participated in a event one year.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You're talking about the speed dating cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, a lot of people here are familiar with Oliver Zark and HubNet, Hubwire Galactic. So for one of the Coremores, there was an 890 jump speed dating cruise that Hubwire covered, and Fastcart was part of it, and probably stole the show with one of his jokes. And you can look that up on YouTube. Just type in Coremore speed dating cruise, and you'll get all the splendor of Fastcart's humor.
I'm looking it up right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
Cornmore. I think that's a pretty good holiday. Most of the time I'm bar humbug because I'm lonely. But yeah, that's just me. Anyway,
I love
Do you,
Coremore because it's the one time that we are guaranteed to get a pink paint in this game for stuff. So yeah.
let me ask, do you think that something like that should be something that we actually implement annually? I know that Zark did it that year as a piece, but I'm
Hmm.
saying, is that something that maybe community wide would be something that's promoted where people would do things like that? So I'm trying to figure out how to make it beyond, buying a suit of armor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or buying a ship. How do we make it a community thing so that people find? Well, I'm not saying people should go out and find love necessarily, but there are some people who, like Jade and I, you and I come from the Second Life world, right, where
Uh-huh.
people actually do build relationships with people in game.
Yeah, I
Um,
think. Oh,
mhm.
God.
No, go ahead.
I think this would be, a few years ago, a couple years ago, CIG had this April Fool's joke for an app called Mesher, which was
Mm,
basically to find other
right,
people. And
right.
like, I remember looking at that and thinking, that's actually a really good idea. So
Hmm.
like, if they really did want to double down on Coremore, release the
Hmm.
Mesher app in the Moby Glass, right? And only have it
Mm.
activate during Coremore.
During Core
That'd
More.
be great.
That would be cool. Kind of have like you could swipe left or swipe right?
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be like for romance. It could be like I need somebody to go into a bunker with me to clear it out. Like it
There
could
you
be
go.
anything,
That would be
anything
cool.
where it's, pairing
Hmm.
up with people.
Pairing up
Yeah,
with people. Yeah.
yeah,
That would be very cool. All right, CIG. Hope you guys are hearing that. And Jay gave us a great idea for Core More. Yeah, because I mean, I think that, we're getting at a place now where hopefully we'll be able to make some of these things really become not just lore, but, an actual part of the game. Things that when these celebrations come up, they just don't get looked at as an opportunity to, buy a new ship or melt something. Okay.
yeah.
yeah, that is Cornmore.
Hmm.
Up next we have still up for a tutor today. So yes, here we go with the trailer.
And needless to say, they never let me dock at that station again.
Kid, that story gets worse every time you tell it.
Look what the cat dragged in.
I ever tell you about that job I did on Demian back in '48?
Only about 1,000 times. But if you want to talk about danger, what about the time I hit the gap at Yada?
Oh, that's nothing.
You kids wouldn't know real danger if it shot you between the
You
eyes.
guys already forgot about the pyro incident? I cleaned up on that job.
Yeah. You both got lucky.
Maybe, but what about you, old timer? You feeling lucky right now?
Luck's got nothing to do with it.
Guess we'll see.
Yeehaw.
And that just came out this year. I think that was a pretty good one. But I can read this one. Stella Fortuna is a human cultural celebration associated with the good fortune and success of new ventures. It was first established as a commemoration of the successful colonization of Mars, or Sol 4. Feasting, fireworks, festivals, and other forms of mass celebrations are a hallmark of the holiday, along with the colors gold and green. is celebrated each year on March 15th throughout the United Earth Empire of Earth. So yes, Stella Fortuna. And was it 2016 or 2017? The Constellation Emerald was the first ship that they commemorated.
Fastcart.
Go ahead.
Both Stella Fortuna and Coramore they began a lot later than 2016 and 2017.
I was gonna say that's a little bit
You
too
think
long
everything started in
ago.
2016 and
I
2017?
do.
Okay. Well,
More like
do you know when?
2019, 20. Yeah, I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think that I think in this case, I think it was like 2018, I want to say, and I think Coramore might have been 2019, but I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure they were both before 2020, but they definitely were after 2016 and 2017. They were, because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
already had planets by then.
yeah. Typically, I would say 2017 or 2018, but yeah, that sounds more accurate. But yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
was
and
saying about the
so
Constellation Emerald, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, so that was you're right. That was like the first recognition of this.
Okay.
And
Yep.
this in real world time is this time of the year for those
Yeah.
of us
St.
who
Patrick's
celebrate
Day.
St. Patty's Day, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just passed 2 days ago in Thursday in time, and today is St. Patrick's Day, as we already stated. So yeah, typically I prefer red and black. The green, not so much. Though I kind of give these sale a pass, but I don't know about the two of you.
I was going to say, Jade, I'm still a little upset that we unfortunately cannot get our hands on the Phoenix or the P-72s as paints. You know what I mean? You have to get the get the
drop
package to get them.
$350.
Right.
Oh man,
And you can't even upgrade to it.
Well, what was kicker was when the Phoenix came out, and I didn't own the Phoenix at the time. I hemmed and hawed about it, but I didn't want to be stuck with the green, so I didn't get it. And then the P-72 came out, and it was the same thing. And now it's like, dag, the only way to get it, because I would love to have the P-72 that color. I don't know about the Phoenix, but I think the color, now I like it. For some reason or other, it didn't grab me back then, but now I wish I had it.
Probably because
like
you didn't have the graphics card that you have now. So it might look better now.
No, it had nothing to do with the graphics card. No, the green just didn't grab me. Were you gonna? Because somebody told me that they've tweaked that green a little bit too, but I don't know if that's true or not. Were you gonna say, Jade?
I was gonna say the one like oddball out of all the vehicles that have the green paint is the Ursa. Because if you look at it, that green is nothing like the one that they're using now, and I hope at some point they go back and revisit it and give it the current Stella Fortuna paint.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't have the next one. It's April Triggerfish, April Fool's Day. So someone can drop a link. I could probably slide it so people can see it. But yeah, Triggerfish.
I forgot about that one. Let me see. I put Invictus in the our chat. If Jade, when you want to read that when we get around to that. Triggerfish is a human holiday celebrated annually in the UEE on April the 1st. Those who observe it play pranks and jokes on one another or participate in hoaxes shouting Triggerfish once a jape is completed. Though the holiday has origins stretching as far back as the 16th century, it first began to be called Triggerfish in the 2600s when it became a tradition for residents of Borea Magnus II to try and convince visitors that a secret fourth planet named Triggerfish existed in the Magnus system. Some outlaws would give victims coordinates to the planet only to ambush them once they arrived. To put an end to this dangerous practice, the UEE launched an information campaign refuting the claim that Triggerfish existed. This spread the name outside of its system and out of its system of origin. Triggerfish became a nickname for a gullible person, and the name became the most common way to refer to the holiday.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you an example.
So yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Well, Jay, let me ask you this: what was your favorite example of Triggerfish from CIG?
Oh, I just gave it Mesher. And the other one was the other one was the 404 because that literally was the 400i. and people didn't know it, but that really was the 400i. So that one was a good one. But I think Mesher was probably their best. Oh, I know.
I've
We
got
just
one
talked
that'll
about
beat
this.
that. I've got one that'll beat
You
that.
talk about the cologne?
I'm sending it. I just sent it to fastcart. Yep, fastcart. There's the
Okay.
link right there in our streamers alert. Some of you guys might remember this one. Jade evidently popped in her head too, but I remember when this happened. Let's see if fastcart brings it up there. So we'll let folks see it, and then we can talk about it. There was new merchandise. There we go. For those of you who are interested in getting Quantum, the new fragrance from Cristiano Roberto.
Let me see what year this is. This is 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And there are always some people that select few, that niche, that always say, "We really want this CIG, give it to us."
Yeah, yeah, or think it's real, or so I can't believe they're selling cologne now, But if they sold it, I'd buy it. I'd buy it.
Put the Star Citizen logo on anything, people will buy it.
I'd buy it. I would buy it, especially if it was limited quantity. I'd buy that bad fella.
Oh my
right
God!
Never
I
open
forgot
it.
about this.
I'd buy it.
Check this out. Scent of the Stars collection, 27,000.
That's right. 27,000. Yep. There you go.
And
there
for
you
people who
go.
don't know, that used to be the same price of the Legatus package. So that was the joke there. I forgot about that. That's funny. Warbond only.
Yeah. And what is funny too is that when these do come out, there is a moment of April fooling. There are a lot of people who don't realize it's the first, or they don't realize that holiday is being celebrated. So when they see this, it does raise their eyebrow a lot of time. They actually think maybe this is real until somebody says, "Hey, it's April 1st." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
So let me see what happened when I click on Buy Now. So here's what happened when you click on Buy Now. There you go. That's what happens when you click Buy Now.
Yeah.
And one of these go ahead.
No, you go.
One of these holidays, you clicked on something and you got a Spectrum badge saying "food." I forgot what year that was, but that was one of the April Fool's Day joke. My favorite is the Big Benny Freelancer truck. I forget what year that was, but that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, they had they had a Reliant one too, Big Benny's Reliant. I was going to inject a little bit of science here and point out a missed opportunity for CIG. So astronauts often compare the smell of space to hot metal, burnt meat, burnt cakes, spent gunpowder, and the welding of metal. And according to Steve Pierce, a biochemist and CEO of Omega Ingredients, who combined that through astronaut interviews to create a NASA commissioned scent, I think CIG should have just partnered with him and released that actual fragrance at a limited time.
Oh God.
Here's the smell of space. Here you go.
That's funny. That's funny.
Cannot wait for that. All right, so yeah, that is Trigger Fest, April Fool's Day. Up next, we have Invictus Launch Week. I have two videos, but they're really quick. So this is the first one. That is the first one. That is the Comes Home, and this is the same year called One Empire. So.
In a galaxy so vast, can one person make an impact? How do we rise above? Through camaraderie and competition, we coalesce. In our darkest hours, when all seems hopelessly lost, And in our proudest moments, we find in each other strength, hope, solidarity, the courage to leave the familiar behind in pursuit of the next great adventure. One person can make an impact, but together, we are capable of greatness. Each of us, part of something bigger. One galaxy. One empire. United in purpose.
Man, I've seen so many of these that I'm forgetting them more and more. That was an excellent commercial. So yeah, what do you two think? Invictus Week.
You're asking the person from Levski to comment about UEE.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is obviously not my favorite holiday. I feel that it promotes a lot of military spending, and it's not for the people, it's for the UEE, and it's the uphold a sanitized version of history where they talk about the first Tavaran War being put upon us by the Tavaran, which is not the real history of it. But yeah, you don't want me to comment on it.
Too late.
I love it. I love it. No, it's typical propaganda. Right. That's what it is. It's propaganda, and for what it is and for what it's intended to do, it does it right. A lot of people, to Jade's point, don't know history, and I want to parallel this to real life. People don't know history, and things are often fed to the masses. And it looks good. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel patriotic or nationalist or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes, the story is written by the winners of the battles, right? So, it's always good to look into what is the detail, because this is, you could tell. I mean, it's done boisterously. It's done with the flying F8s and everything, which all looks great. But yeah, you start to find out there are darker sides to history that often aren't also portrayed. So. Yeah, take it for what it's worth. It's a great propaganda piece for the UEE. I'm not saying yay or nay to the UEE. I'm just saying that's what it is.
And but
the production value is nice.
Yeah, and there are people within the UEE who have, who are against Invictus. They see it as a waste of money, in the actual lore. So not everybody's, in love with Invictus, even within the UEE.
Mm-hmm.
I will give CIG credit for the past year, the 2953 one, because I do love those posters that they put up. Those they're striking, and it's the first time you see that kind of aesthetics in Star Citizen and what have you. So I did appreciate that for Invictus. So I like the just for those posters in per se.
Yeah, the propaganda works. Seriously, they're very good at what they're doing here, because it's what it's designed to do. It is designed to be eye-popping and catch your attention, even though you don't understand what all these images necessarily represent, but you get caught up in it. The music, everything that's there. So don't get me wrong. I'm speaking on the outside of it. Technically, obviously, it's a great trailer, a great piece to do. But again, what it represents in the history of the UEE is, again, you're only seeing the shinier side of it, not the other side of it.
Did I still read the official explanation?
Oh, yeah. Sure. It's down there, Jay. Go ahead.
All right. Invictus Launch Week, Fleet Week, is an annual event held the last week of May that marks the beginning of the new recruiting year and graduation of the latest class of officers and pilots for the United Empire of Earth Navy, UEN. It originated in Standard Earth Year 2542 during the First Tavaran War, which lasted from 2541 to 2546, when the United Planets of Earth, UP Tribunal, in need of new soldiers in the face of Tavaran invasion, sent transports from planetary system to planetary system to pick up volunteers and transport them to the UP Naval Base Invictus on Mars, Sol 4. It established a yearly event, or it was established as a yearly event under Imperator Ivor Messer the First, Ivor Messer the Worst, sorry, in 2581. Today, although Invictus base no longer exists. The event is still celebrated by the UE under the same name. And I have a problem with that too, right? If you've got somebody you're trying to get away from, right?
still
That, all
celebrate
that
under them.
history, you don't even change the name of the event. Come on, UE. All right, that's all.
I mean,
Okay,
good
that's
stuff like that
Invictus.
in real life too. I'm not gonna name the name, but
Yeah,
that's
we
the
don't
thing.
need to. We don't need to go there.
That's the thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first Invictus commercial I showed. I do love that F8. I mean, I think the Invictus launch week was the first time we got to see the F8 in engine in one of the halls that they did. So yeah, I like that.
One of the things I would love them to do, because the F8, they always recognize the 999th Squadron, but they don't ever show.
Right.
Yeah.
We always hear about it, but that's it.
I think
Yeah,
we saw them one time because they had the different color scheme for the for flying the F8. Am I wrong? One year they did. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It'd be cool to have like a flyover of New Babbage or Orison or something.
And
That's
thank
what I
you
was
for
going to
the-
say when it came to. Oh, somebody gave us something.
Yeah, thank you for
Oh,
the raid,
wow.
King Chaos 5.
King
or
Chaos. Thank
for the
you.
raid.
Thank you
Raiders.
so
Welcome, Raiders.
much.
We're talking about the
Thank
different
you.
holidays and celebrations that happens in Star Citizen. Right now we're coming in Business Launch Week. So welcome, Raiders. Are we going to say, Griff? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Jade, we've talked about this in the past. I have always wished and wanted that CIG would make Invictus interactive. And what I mean is, I'm trying to send a shout out here, so give me 1 second. What I mean by that is I want it to become something much more than just, there's a shout out there for King Chaos, y'all. Y'all check out King Chaos, drop a follow, check them out. Really appreciate you guys sending your folks over to us. Jay, we've been talking about how each year we see how they're building it out more and more. The fact that we saw that the Nine Tails had popped up. Was it the Nine Tails or Xenothreat, right? Xenothreat had popped up. And then we had talked about they've got the recruiting tables and desks there. But we don't see anything happening at those locations. And I was always hoping that CIG would implement something where we could participate. For example, the fleet movements, right? That move from Hurston to ArcCorp and then back to Microtech. We know that the fleet with the Javelins and the Idrises kind of at the certain time of the day, they make their movement to a new station. Why not have something that says you sign up, to be there as an escort for the UEE? And, when the escort is moving, if you get in line with them, you can jump with them, or you could be there to protect them when they're docking. Just something that would help us to be engaged in some form other than just coming to the convention center and looking at ships.
Right.
For those who want to sign up for the UEE, you know what I mean? If those people who want to do that, then there could be the people who out there who want to take a pot shot at the UEE too, which would be kind of interesting,
Yeah, have some protesters out there. There's a key piece of UE history that is left out of Invictus too that probably should be there. So that F8 Squadron, the 999th, was actually established by Michelle Solano, who was noted in history as the first Zeus pilot that successfully piloted the Zeus. And now that we have the Zeus Mark II coming in game, I'm thinking it would be cool to recognize her at Invictus.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Since she started the 999th.
I think this year for Invictus will probably be focusing on the Hornet Mark II a lot more. I'm not. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, if we say focusing on, they're just going to highlight it as the new ship out. I don't know if there's going to be any big focus on it per se, because the F8 is still considered the flagship for them.
Right.
But I just want something more interactive than just going to the convention center and seeing the ship and pushing the rent button and leaving. I want something that's engaging.
And we are getting a bunch of followers. Thank you for the follow on Dragosia.
Yes.
So Rion, King Chaos, thank you, and Gecko MX.
Yes.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
That is Invictus launch week, and that's coming up real soon now. Up next, we have Alien Week. So let's check out this video, and then I'll read the synopsis.
Are you tired of the pain of the drudgery of the boring ship? Are you waiting for your lucky day? Well, hello, lucky humans. It's us, your average friendly Banu Suli, specializing and excelling mightily in procuring and selling of many great and amazing ships. So many good ships from alien worlds suitable for humans. Don't go there. We'll bring them to you. Comfy human seat, not native human. Probably. Humans love breathing. Our ship's full of atmosphere. Great for breathing. Your next great ship is waiting. We have it. It's right here. Come on down. Today, voted friendliest Suli. 3 years subsequent. Davian 4 Commercial Chamber.
I forgot about that one. That had me rolling the first time I saw it. But early in the week, falling right around First Contact Day, which commemorates humanity's initial interaction with the Banu. Alien Week is the annual celebration where Star Citizen community embraces all that is alien in our expansive, wondrous galaxy. Alongside alien-made ships and meticulous human recreation, we're exploring the language, culture, and history of the Banu, Terran, Xi'an, and Vandal species. Now, this commercial was great. It was fun. This is not from last year, in fact. So yeah. Griff, what are your thoughts?
Well, I got a question to you guys. This has come up from the community on several occasions. The question is, how interactive will we be with the aliens? And some people have even asked, will we as players be able to, play as a Xi'an or a Banu? And as much as I'm interested in that, I think it's a very cool thing to be able to do, I push back on it a little bit because I don't think that players... I think people will become a Banu just because they want to look like a Banu, but they won't act like a Banu. I would love the fact that if you chose to be Banu, that when you started in the game, you'd wake up in a Banu system. If you were a Xi'an, you'd wake up in a Xi'an system. But I think that it would not be reflective of culture and the dynamics that we'd want to see. So if I ran into a Banu person, I'd want them to be about trading. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want them to be about something else other than that. And I'm not sure that players would play at that level. I think they would just get it because they just want to look like a Banu. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
So my view on this is they have a hard enough time getting human clothes for the female character model in game. Now you're going to introduce Banu that their size difference is even greater.
Oh my
God, then they have to fit into all the human ships that people bought. I'm going to say hard no to this.
Maybe make it so they can only fly Banu ships. How about that?
Well,
I'm just being funny. They have to create other ships. I know.
They would complain, I picked a Banu and I can't fly the Hornet
I can't fly my Hornet.
Ago. Right? That's why I say hard pass on humans being able to play as Banu and Xi'an. Plus, like you said, it would break immersion. I like the idea in theory. I'm all for freedom of people being able to do what they want.
Right.
But at the same time, there's a game that they're making that's supposed to be immersive, right?
Yeah.
So
one of the things that frustrated me in Eve was that Eve was broken into 4 distinct races that had very distinct lores, very different lores. Some of them were known enemies of the other. And I always wished in Eve that if I recognized one of those ships that was my mortal enemy, that I knew that was my enemy. And if I saw someone in a ship that was like mine, I knew that they were on my side. That is not what happened in Eve. A person could have the same race and same group of ship as me, and they'd blow me up. It had nothing to do with the lore. And that always disappointed me because I always wanted that to be existing in the game. And I think even in this, we'd run into the exact same thing. You just because someone's in a Xi'an ship, you could not assume that they're going to be a Xi'an. I think that's one of the things that about. And I also kind of wrestle with that when people request about wanting to buy those ships. I don't mind it in the sense of Asperia makes the replicas, right?
Right.
Right.
But do I want regular players buying I don't know. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. If those ships are things that we have to interact with, do I really want humans to be in those ships too? If I see that, if I saw a Romulan ship, I know it's a freaking Romulan on there. You know what I mean? It's not somebody from the United Federation of Planets. I don't know if I would want that. I'm not sure if it would work. Maybe it would. I don't know.
Yeah,
But anyway,
at the same
I'm
time,
steering away from Alien Week. But go ahead.
We do have the human Xi'an trade accord, right? Huxa, and
Yeah.
a lot more.
That allows for the train. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It does allow for it. Yeah. I guess maybe I'm just looking at. Yeah. There's some crossing of the lines there. Even with the merchantman and stuff, you wouldn't know if a merchantman is a human or a Banu. So yeah. Yeah,
I love this
okay.
commercial though because
Yeah,
they had like
yeah.
loud party music, and Banu loved parties and loud
Mhm.
music. So yeah,
And this is, you can tell this is definitely made by a band because they don't have all the intuition that a human may have when it comes to advertising and stuff like that. So I
right.
think that was
Yeah.
great. But one thing
It was
about
great.
good question, I think it's I don't think it's feasible to create aliens for players to play because imagine all the hairstyles. We have enough trouble getting hairstyles for humans. Imagine trying to get all the
Mhm.
hairstyles for aliens too. I don't think that'll work.
They don't have hair.
They don't have hair. I was
No.
gonna say we
When did
really
you
I
need
ever
to.
see a turtle with hair?
Mhm.
Oh boy! So yeah, that is Alien Week. I always look forward to it because I'm always hoping that they'll release my ship finally, but probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not this year.
One more quick question. What could we do for Alien Week? Because right now it's just a sale. You know, is there anything that you guys think that they could put interactive in the game
Not
that
in
Yes.
total.
represents
Introduce
something?
more aliens.
Something
Introduce
Well,
something that
yeah, but
something that would be.
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, something that would be really simple and would be really, really cool is alien foods, right? Like that's,
Ooh,
part of First Contact
how
Day,
about
which
it?
kicks off Alien Week, right?
How
What if you
about it?
went, just for Alien Week, you go to Whammers and you can
Mm-hmm.
buy like, some Xi'an food or
Mm-hmm.
Baonu food. It would be cool.
That
Imagine
would
the
be.
health effect how that would affect your body in game.
Well, when I did a Star Trek cruise a few years ago, and one of the things that was so cool about it was they literally changed the entire ship to Star Trek stuff. The elevators became turbo lifts. The inside looked like turbo lifts. The front doors looked like turbo lifts. But all the restaurant menus and all the bars changed into Star Trek drinks. So, and I'm not talking about it was a rum and cola that was called something else. It was literally some other weird drink. You know what I mean? So it would be kind of cool, Jay, to do something like that. You went to the Wally's
Yeah.
bar and they were serving these alien drinks out of there,
Yep.
instead. I think that would be very, very cool. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, that is Ellen Week coming up in June. Up next we have Foundation Day. So here's the trailer for that. So Jay, do you want to take that one?
Sure. The Foundation Festival is a civic program that takes place annually in the United Empire of Earth, UE, for the duration of the month of July. Proposed in Standard Earth Year 2861 by Imperator Gayatri Diyamana, the holiday endeavors to strengthen community participation by encouraging citizens and civilians to volunteer with local and imperial organizations. Independent charitable organizations often reach volunteer capacity during the holiday, so the UE government offers short-term volunteer opportunities such as mentorship programs and cleanup events. Civilians can submit repeated Foundation Festival volunteer work as one of the many qualifications to receive citizenship. And I like that because that means you don't have to just join the military, right? There's another way to become a citizen than, military service.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for that. So yeah, Foundation Day. This is one of the new holidays. I know this feels like it came after 2020. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
It did, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Griffin, you have any thoughts about this one?
No, I mean, to Jade's point, the idea of different ways to be able to gain citizenship, CIG kind of has touched on this before, that there are things that we can do to earn citizenship if you don't decide to go through the military to do it. I'm curious to see how this is all going to tie in with Squadron 42, because there's still some vagueness about this process of being able to play Squadron 42 and then entering into the persistent universe and having a certain status of citizen or a civilian. Was it, Jay, do you remember what it was? It was like 3 different titles, right? 3 or 4 different titles when you
Right,
came out.
yeah.
Do you remember what they were?
I do not, unfortunately.
I can't remember what they were. But again, that's all being still laid out. But to know that there are ways for people who want to be a part of the UEE, but not via the military is very cool.
All right, so thank you for that.
You
Go
have
ahead.
you have to have service, but it doesn't necessarily have to be military service.
Yep.
And as far as the out of lore event, it's also great for the Star Citizen community. I've been a guide during the Foundation Festival, and you get cool things for doing it, but it's also pretty rewarding to help out new players because you see the universe through their eyes, and that sometimes can help if you're a little jaded. But yeah,
just a little jaded.
No pun intended.
No pun.
A little jaded.
I am very happy to be here.
Thank you for the follow, Insta Snowby. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That is the Foundation Festival that happens in July. August is pretty empty. They do have Gamescom, but that's an in-world event, not an in-universe event. But after that, they have Pirate Week. So this is in September.
Met a man on a rusty tug, 24 scars across his mug. Said to me, let me tell you, son, got a tale for reaching everyone. Hey ho, it's time to go, and we'll be home, the devil knows. Hey ho, it's time to go away, away, away. That one there above your eye, I crashed a snub and nearly died. That nasty one that splits your lip, barkeep, I forgot to take it. Hey ho, it's time to go, and we'll be home, the devil knows. Hey ho, it's time to go away, away, away. That one there beneath your mouth, got it in a trigger game gone south. That one there that cleaved your ear, a lover that I once held dear. Hey ho, it's time to go, and we'll be home, the devil knows. Hey ho, it's time to go away, away, away. That one there across your nose, trying to change a cooling hose. That one there across your cheek, I got it in a bonfire just last week. Hey ho, it's time to go, and we'll be home, the devil knows. Hey ho, it's time to go away, away, away. Hey ho, it's time to go, and we'll be home, the devil knows. Hey ho, it's time to go away, away, away.
So yes, who wanted to take that one? Or is it my turn again?
I can take it. I'll do a shorter read on it though. Avast there, you salty swabs. This is the week we celebrate the brigands, baddies, scoundrels, and scallywags that stalk the space lanes of the verse, all in their piratical glory. This is also the time where they've tied in recently the Siege of Orison taking place during that period of time. Let's see. They may be the scourge of Stanton, but they're rarely dull. They know how to party, and without them, what would the scrupulous types have to shoot at? So doff your befeathered cap, raise a tankard of rum, and loose a hearty yo-ho as we set sail for another week of plunder, privateering, and pandemonia.
Now, one thing I do like about this video is that they have Bob. Bob is in the video. And people who don't remember Bob, that was they were from Jack McCleary video from the previous, not the previous, but the 2952 IAE. So yeah, Bob is great to see them back.
This is the one holiday, or I don't know if you call it a holiday, but this is the one thing that we're mentioning that doesn't correspond to anything in lore. There's no Pirate Week in lore, but it does correspond to Talk Like a Pirate Day, International Talk Like a Pirate Day in real life. Yeah.
I don't know about you two. I never dreamed about being a pirate. Never fantasized about having a pirate life. So maybe that's just me. It's not for everybody. Some people do appreciate it. Go ahead.
I used to be a pirate, but I've long since reformed, so this day is meaningless to me.
I will say this. I did, even though this wasn't necessarily a Pirate Week thing, it was a very different type of trailer that CIG did, but the one that they did for the Drake, what's it called? The Corsair?
Corsair?
It's the Corsair? Yeah, the Corsair, right? That's the Explorer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when they did the ASMR?
Oh
piracy?
yeah, I do remember that.
That was a
weird
very
one.
unique. It
That
was
was
unique and
weird.
very different, but I liked
No,
it. I
it wasn't
liked
weird.
it.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was very good. I liked it. It was very, very good.
The way
Audio, and it was amazing. The audio design, and it was amazing.
the reason why I say it was weird because CID has all these other videos that are like they pop at you, and then they make this one quiet video that stand out from the rest. So that in that way, that's what I mean by weird.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they decided to take a chance and do something that was straight ASMR, which I thought, and the visuals in it were really good. Plus it gave us peeks into pyro in that particular one too, which was nice.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. Yeah.
I recently installed the screensaver app, the wallpaper engine, and I use that video as one of my screensavers. But it's a long video, and it's not there's not much happening. So I decided to take that out of the rotation. But other than that, it was a great video.
Mm-hmm.
And then that original, ASMR video, the song that's in here was in that video,
Yep.
just really
Sure was.
muted.
Yep.
So that was where we first heard this song too.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good catch. All right, so yeah, that is Pirate Week 2023 from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Up next we have CitizenCon. Oh, we can go on and on about this one, but here's a trailer real quick.
You guys want us to hurry up or keep going?
Hopefully you guys liked it.
Yeah, don't tell Tony D to keep going unless you're prepared. You're really prepared. So yeah, CitizenCon. Griffin, you want to take a stab at this one?
Yeah, sure. This epic 2-day event is more than just a convention. It is a pan-galactic celebration of the vibrant community that breathes life into the Star Citizen universe. A place where we can come together and share the remarkable things we've achieved together while looking forward to a future brimming with even more amazing adventures. Buckle up, pilot. You're about to embark on an unforgettable journey beyond imagination.
So Jade, correct me if I'm wrong, but last year was the first year they actually had an in-lore CitizenCon, or was it the year before last?
No, they've had CitizenCon and lore for as long as there's been a CitizenCon. So CitizenCon and lore is actually a Citizen Day convention. And if you want, I can briefly talk about Citizen Day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Citizen Day is a holiday in the Empire Earth held annually on October 10th. It was established to recognize citizens, members of the UE who've attained citizenship through civic responsibility, military service, or other positive, impactful contributions to UE, like the Foundation Festival. New UE citizens are formally recognized on Citizen Day. Now, there's another side to Citizen Day. When the concept of citizenship was first introduced in the 22nd century, Citizen Day followed soon after, and it was primarily seen as a bank holiday until 2734, when then-standing Imperator Gelor Messer IX used xenophobic propaganda and lavish celebrations in honor of citizen sacrifices to push military recruitment. Records released under the Historical Truth Act revealed that the repurposed holiday was put forth by high-level military personnel. The military was running low on resources, having suffered losses in the Tiber system, and concerned that redeploying forces from the Perry line would be perceived as weakness by the Xi'an. And towards the end of the Messer era in the 28th century, anti-Messer activists on Terra used the holiday to recruit members to their cause. So the anti-Messer people also use Citizen Day for recruitment.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, what else can we say about CitizenCon? We can, like I said, we could go on for a long time about this, but we want to try to keep this short. I enjoyed this holiday, quote unquote holiday. I've been to 3 of them, 2016, 2018, and last one last year. always a fun time. Always a fun time to hang out with the community and talk to some of the devs, and just hang out and spend time with like-minded people, and it's around the globe because it's a global event. People come from all over the place to attend. So, and this year it's going to be back in Manchester, October 19th and 20th. And it's another 2-day event, and some people are already making accommodations and plans and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyone else have anything
There isn't anything that we do in game, is there?
No.
Leading up to, or
I think that they'll probably wait until we have the Terra system.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of lore about that real quick. The first Citizen Con in the Star Citizen universe was held in 2793, and it was the first non-Messer Imperator, Aaron Toy, who established it as the Citizen Day Conference. That's why it's called Citizen Con. So I think maybe when we get Terra, it will be something that's like held there. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody at CIG's at the convention, but I was just kind of curious if there was anything that we've ever done in game in relation to it, other than the flair, the little items that they give us.
Yeah,
Or when they drop a patch and say, okay, go ahead, log in, 30K.
Right.
There is a free fly typically around that time, but yeah.
They'll do the free fly. Yeah, that's another thing. That's true. Okay.
All right, so yeah, that is CitizenCon. Up next, we have Day of the Borrower. This is a Halloween. I can't think of the word, but yeah, the Halloween thing. But yeah, I showed the video. Scary. I'll take this one. Day of the Devourer is a holiday celebrated in the United Empire of Earth annually on October 27th. The holiday involves public festivals adorned with decorations in black and green and private gatherings convened to remember and honor the dead. Celebrants dress up as people who have passed away or in other costumes and swap scary stories, especially pertaining to mysterious incidents in space. It is seen by humans as a day that gives equal weight to the joy of life and the macabre.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to take this one?
One of the things I really appreciate is there have been several people in the community who've created machinima. I know we've shown them on Soul Talk on Thursdays. Horror or scary type of scenarios of things that have taken place in the verse. And CIG has kind of, given us these different, I guess you would say, masks, different types of helmets that reflect something along the lines of fear. In the commercial you showed, the bears have been one of them. And I would hope that CIG would continue to create things along the lines. I know some people aren't into the horror macabre thing, but I am. And so I don't want, they gave us some other versions of masks that we had before. I really would love to see them be more creative and continue to produce things. I think that over the years, when we are getting our persistent hangers to be able to display these items and show people what we have, I think would be really cool. And so I'm hoping that they kind of, again, build on these things a little bit more and give us items that we can practically use in the game, as well as show off in the game. I don't know that the only events I remember was, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, was when they did have the thing with trying to get the masks and stuff like that. That was about it, right? There really wasn't anything else going on. Was that the only thing they did for Vara? They had to kill like 100 people at one time to get the one mask.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah.
They're always controversial, those events.
Well, yeah, because there's always the workarounds for it, right? Where folks,
Right. Or like last year where you could barely find a Van Dole mask, right? So that was
yeah,
the other controversy.
yeah, it was tough for folks.
One thing we haven't mentioned is that typically for each of these events, they do have some kind of spectrum competition going on with
True.
each of these. So like they have a pumpkin carving contest every year
Mm-hmm.
for the Day of the Devourer. And
Right.
so they do have those, but it's not in game. It's just something real life, and people
Mm-hmm.
can win prizes for them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would hope that in the lore for this, if I'm remembering correctly, there is lore to this in relation to when the Day of the Vara happened. People used to avoid the Hades system because they believed that spirits or ghosts that it would be haunted. Kind of like how on Halloween, the night of on All Hallows Eve, all the spirits are supposed to come out. There was supposed to be something very similar to that took place on the Day of Vara. And again, CIG, boy, don't get me wrong, we're still in development, so I'm not asking for everything, but I am asking in the future. Some type of phenomenon could happen in some area, some system, some place where word spreads that there's something kind of spooky going on in this particular area. And maybe on that day, people log in and they know that it's the Day of Vara and they go out there to see what's going on. Maybe some people have that encounter, some people don't. Maybe there's some big gaseous cloud that pops up out of nowhere and there's something weird if you go in it. I mean, there's all types of cool things that they could play on with this piece with the Day of Vara. But until we get the Hades system, I hope that CIG is thinking about something that again amplifies this holiday.
You read my mind, Griff, because I was thinking as you were talking about that, I was like the Hades cryptid, the blue man, right? Like that would be perfect for the Day of the Vara.
Yeah. You're lucky enough to run into them.
Yeah.
Literally.
In addition to Hades, I think Timeshare system would be a great place because Timeshare is where they had a black hole. So who knows what kind of mysterious stuff can happen around there.
The only thing mysterious is if you get too close and turn
I was
into
going to say,
spaghetti.
you want to
Not
find
just that,
mystery, you
but
get too
like-
close to it to find out.
But no, not just that. I mean,
That'll be scary.
You could say like lost souls guys are around there because
Oh boy, if lost souls coming out of the black hole, that goes against science and physics.
Or trying to flee from the black hole, one or the other. Yeah.
They try to flee it. Yeah, I get what you're saying though, and I mean, there's all types of things that they could create that lore to be built around over time. But again, I would just love to see these things become more than just writing on paper, but
Right.
really active in the game in some form.
All right, so we have a couple of more. The next
Do
one
we?
is, IAE. So let's check out this video real quick.
Experience a universe of possibilities. Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953. All your favorite ships and manufacturers. Plus, a few new surprises. Touching down at Tobin Expo Center, November 17th.
So speaking of propaganda, I'm gonna let Jade handle this one because she loves propaganda, right?
Yeah. I mean,
This one isn't
I
so
don't
bad.
have as
No
much of
problems
an
with this one.
issue with this one. I mean, it's just marketing. It's selling ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at least they sell them to the people too. We've got Drake Defense Con. We didn't mention that. But so the IAE, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, is an annual spacecraft exposition that is held in the United Empire of Earth, and it was founded in 2670 by spacecraft enthusiast Audrey Timmerman. It was initially held on Castor, which is Coral 4 in a Coral system, until 2847, when the board of directors voted to rotate the location of the IAE each year. And that continued until the board voted permanently to host the event on Severus, which is in the Kiel system, Kiel 3. And that took place in 2913. And the cool thing about IAE is that, they couldn't just have it in the Kiel system. They also wanted to have a satellite expo in the big commercial hub of the UE, which is the Stanton system, which is why we can go to it, even though we don't have the Kiel system in game yet.
Yep.
So yeah, IAE. I want to say this has always been. I don't know when they first started calling it IE because it used to be the celebration. It used to be called the holiday sale, but that was in more December than November. But this has always been
2018.
in the game. I started in 2014. I remember I think I'm not that mistaken
20,
about this.
2018 was when when they had the first IE in Lorville on Hurston.
Lorville, right? But I'm talking about
Yeah.
like on the website because they called it IE, I believe.
No, they didn't call it IE until 2018. It was just what was it? Something
holiday
sale.
sale,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The holidays, yeah. Jade, I put in some stuff there in the chat for us if you want to talk about DefenseCon just a little bit. It's up to you.
Yeah. So Drake Defense Con is an event organized by Drake Interplanetary to promote themselves as a tag-along of the Invictus launch week. The event was created in 2950 after Drake repeatedly was invited to Invictus Week. It is meant as a tool to showcase the contribution and solutions in the defense of Drake Interplanetary to militias and other security organizations. And if you remember, they had the whole power to the people branding at the last one, and it had really good music.
Well, in lore, Drake had a falling out with the other IAE people because they were doing their own thing and not really conforming to the mindset or the style that other people were doing because they have like flashy things and flashy people parading around and showing off their ships. So that was when they started doing Defense Con after that.
Well, that was part of it. There was a tension between Drake and the UEE, though. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jade. The reputation of Drake being the pirate group, they had tried to get contracts with the UEE, and the UEE declined them for Anvil, I think it was, or was it? I don't remember who it was. But that whole shifting of, to Jade's point, power to the people became a shift for Drake that says, well, if we're not going to provide for the military, we're going to make sure that civilians have an opportunity to buy from us instead of a military contract. And so they started going towards civilians. And of course, that also created the dynamic of people who felt that, well, that gave it accessibility to pirates, which was not Drake's intent per se. But they made ships that were supposed to be affordable, that could be repaired easily, things of that nature. And hence the tension between Drake and basically the IAE.
And in 2952, 2022, for us, Drake actually did sponsor the IAE, which was a shock
First time.
to a lot of people. It was
which
the
was
first
very
time.
cool. It was very cool,
it was
too.
very cool.
Had the nice red theme and everything to it,
Yep.
which was nice. Yeah.
And the music slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was cool.
I typically enjoy the time of IE because it gave me a chance to think about my fleet and think about if I'm going to keep this or I'll get rid of that, and for people who like to play CCU game, it's a great time. And people who are not familiar with CCU game, that's when we try to make the best value out of the CCU that are available, especially like the War Bonds one and stuff like that. So fun time.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how. It's been interesting. There is this dynamic of going to IAE, and obviously it's our annual ship sale. We always encourage people, if they're interested in backing the game, it's a great time to do that because of the type of insurance that's offered. Often there are new vehicles and ships that are debuted at that as well. A few years ago, you guys may remember that CIG actually had an Idris on display. We couldn't board it. We couldn't really access it very much unless you knew how to cheat and get out there where the ship was. But it was very cool to see full scale of the Idris. And I guarantee you the scale that we saw then and the design that we saw then has changed over the years. And so, Jade, I don't know, and fastcart, I don't know about you. Do you think that CIG will have an Idris on display now since they've got it? Well, let me ask you this. We know that at Invictus, there is a walkthrough of the Javelin, of a portion of it. Do you think that they'll do it at possibly Invictus this year? And if not, do you think they'll have a floor display of an Idris this year at
I'd be willing
IAE?
to bet a whole Bitcoin that we have an Idris on display to walk through at IE this year. I'm sorry, not at IE, at Invictus.
At Invictus, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
at Invictus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's the time for the sale, right? I mean, during the military event, that's the time to do it, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think it would be really good too, because there were a lot of people during that Idris event that didn't get a chance to go on. They would really want to see the interior.
Yeah.
And I always thought it would be a good idea to do that. And I
It
feel
would
like
be.
they're going to do that. I feel like CIG, they've got a good read of the community, and they'll definitely.
So let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Will it sell like hotcakes?
Yes.
Yeah. Always. No question.
All right. One other question.
Oh, I have
One other
a question.
question.
Go ahead.
Will the price go up?
Ooh, no.
I don't think so.
Prices always go up when the ship comes
true.
out. I'm asking.
But is it out? Is it out if we can walk through it? I don't think so.
I'm saying if it's on the floor and you can purchase it. I mean, you're saying it'll wait. You're saying maybe not until it's in game that the price may go up.
When it's in game and flyable by people, that's when it will go up.
That might be the better deal, because if people know that, let me get it now because it will probably go up when it hits the world. There may be some people who say, $1,300 now or $1,500 later.
The only pushback I'm giving on this one, because I'm hesitating to say yes, because it is already so expensive. Yes, ships typically go up, but it's already so expensive. I don't see if it go up, it'll go up a little, if that, in my opinion.
Well, I'm saying 13 to 15.
Yeah, I'm thinking closer to 100, but maybe I'm
$100 increase.
I'm too optimistic.
I'm gonna go higher. I feel when it's flyable, when it's actually in the game and people can fly, it's gonna go up to like 1,700. That's just. I'm just basing that on looking at other ships that went up when they became flyable.
That thing sold like hotcakes last time. So yeah. I know there will be people who will buy it once they walk through it. It's too scary of a ship to me. I know there's some people who probably gonna melt theirs when they walk through it too. But
I'm surprised people to know they melted during the last event. So I don't know.
Well, I'm saying if you didn't get a chance to walk on it and see the scale of that ship, that because that's what happened when people bought the Javelin. When they walked through that thing at the tour, they were like, "Oh man, this thing's a little bit too big." So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and this is also an excellent time for free flyers to come in. They always make, I don't want to say record numbers, but they always have a lot of new accounts come in. People checking out the game. So yeah, that is looking forward to them. So we have one more, and this is December. Griffin, I'm gonna ask you to take this one after we. Well, okay, you have a special video for this one. How you want to handle this one?
You can do the video, and I'll read afterward.
This is the lore video from Astro Puppet.
Oh no! That was just a point of reference. Yeah, no, I'll read it. No.
Okay.
Luminalia is a holiday celebrated by both Banu and humans annually on December the 22nd. It originated as the irregularly held Banu Festival. Is it Tasiki? No. Tasiki. I can't even pronounce that, Jade, unless you know how to pronounce it.
Your Banu is horrible.
Ifanga. What is it? I don't know how do you pronounce that.
Yeah, it's Siki Ifanga.
Siki Ifanga. Thank you. The Glow Festival.
Yes.
The Glow Festival, marked by the lighting of ceremonial lamps that stay lit until the fuel is consumed, about 30,000 beats or 2 standard Earth days. While the lamps are burning, all Banu, no matter where they are considered one Suli. They invite friends, business associates, and passing strangers into their Sulis and give them gifts so they will always have something to sell. All attendees are expected to provide food, drinks, and or party favors in return. And if they can't, the host will often have those items available for sale. Today, Banu and humans commemorate Luminalia with gift exchanges, present hunts, glowing lights, gatherings of families, friends, business associates, and acquaintances, food and drink, limited time discounts, and decorations in green and red. There you go.
Thank you for that. So when did this one? This was post 2020 or before 2020?
Luminalia?
I can check that. I'm pretty sure it was.
This is 2024.
It might have been 2020.
Might have been
right
2020,
around that
exactly.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like
I can,
2020.
I
So
can,
this is relatively
yeah.
recent.
It was,
Well, yeah,
it
for
was
us anyway.
2020.
It was
It was
okay.
2020.
So yeah, do you have any thoughts, Jade?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love everything about this, an official combined human Banu holiday. I like that, they did this. They took some inspiration from, some actual current real life religious holidays and made them into, something that's uniquely Star Citizen. So and it's, it occurs at the time of year that people are celebrating various holidays around the world. So I love it. I would say that there definitely needs to be a Luminalia paint for the Banu Merchantman when it comes out. Yeah.
I'm imagining that one. Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say I wish there was more decorating. I know that we have the tree, at Microtech and stuff, but I
Yeah.
wish there was a little bit more in-game things that not only at that one location outside, but that there was decorations throughout the spaceport, things of that nature, throughout the verse, just different things that represent during that week, that period of time, those 12 days that the event, the festival is going on. I just don't see enough of it being there. Just like how we have the red envelope spread out over the place. I would love to
Yeah.
see more. The other thing I was going to tell people is some of us, there's stuff that CIG gives us for these different events and things. And I know for some people it's a frustration because I've heard people say my inventory is just filled up with all this junk, and I've known people who literally wrote to CIG and said, get this junk out of my inventory. Some of the junk y'all can give away. You know what I mean? If you don't want it,
Yeah.
give it to other people. Ask them, do they want it? There are people out there who collect this stuff. There are people who like to give to other people who may not be subscribers or something like that. So, feel free to gift things away if you feel like, hey, this is clutter, whatever the case may be. In the spirit of giving, you can do that. But I do hope that there's some other dynamic, again, that CIG takes us to a tier 2, tier 3 level, that these items that we get, like we got the sweaters and things like that. CIG, please give us matching stuff too, by the way. Sometimes y'all give us stuff and it's like, this doesn't match anything. Just don't give me the top, give me the bottom too, or give me the hat that goes with it, I know we're still in alpha, but it would just be so cool to get some, some full outfits of things versus just one little thing and that's it.
Speaking of matching, I have a request from CIG too. CIG, I need my other handle. You only gave me one. Where's the other handle?
God.
Give it to me.
Buy the bike. Buy the bike.
I've been looking at the evolution of the things that CIG's given us for Luminalia, and it's interesting to see that, like, this year they gave us more guns than anything. Like, like compared to previous years. We got like 3 guns and a knife, and I'm
I
thinking
think people were complaining about the other stuff being too useless for them, or maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, they got guns and knives the year previously, but not as.
Yeah, like I think it needs to be evenly spread out. Like I think we got a cookie jar.
Yeah.
I mean that's okay, but with the imminence of hangars coming out and people will be able to place things in their hangars and store things in their glass cases, there's a lot of stuff that can be still given out. And so even not to be funny, remember one Christmas? Some of you guys remember they gave us a wreath for our hangars. Do you guys remember that? The Christmas wreath?
Yeah.
That was before my time. I didn't get that one, but I heard about it.
Yeah, I've got that in my account. So I'm saying, give us the tree, give us some other things, give us something that's band new related other than the night. It's cool, but I would love to have some other things like we've gotten the cubes and other things like that. Some other artifact that's given, but there's a lot they could do, and I just hope that, Jay, to your point, it was a little bit weapon heavy this year, but again, there's 12 days, even if they do 4 categories, 4 clothing items, 4 combat items, 4 relic items, something like that would be kind of cool.
I agree.
Hey, some places in America, that's a perfect Christmas gift. Just saying. It says that is Luminalia, and well, December holiday. Put it that way. I don't want to attribute a specific holiday to it, but yeah, the December holiday.
Yeah.
And that is it. We've covered, like Jay said at the beginning of the episode, it's not an exhaustive list, but we covered most things. And, I had fun doing it. So thank y'all for it. All right, so up next we have Oh, we don't have any Q&A, so I guess we're going to go to the end of the episode. So I'm going to talk about PodSat, our podcast Saturday. Starting at 3 p.m., we have Soul Voices at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m.
Actually, we won't be having it next week. I won't be here next week.
You
Yeah.
won't. So in that case, I'll talk about Soul Talk. Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 1 a.m. UTC. That's where we talk to our citizens and movement to the community. We cover ISC, SCL, and what's going on in Thornton that week. But this is the time where you could come in and talk with me and us. More of a shared discussion about what you think about what's going on in the Star Citizen community that week. That is Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 1 a.m. UTC. And then on Saturday, no Soul Voices coming up, but our part is PodSat, our podcast Saturday, continuing on with the Astropub, with the Captain Table at 6 p.m. Eastern. I was on that yesterday, so check that out. And then we continue on with Relay Station at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. So check those out. And then next week, we are covering Clutch Cargo. Clutch Cargo. Let me see if I can find what is the description? Well, obviously, but what is the description you use for that one?
We're going to be talking about the stuff with persistent hangars and with this distribution centers and stuff in relation to cargo and hauling and things that people who are interested in that type of gameplay might be interested in. That's going to be our subject next week.
Okay, thank you for that one. And that is Sunday. You know, we have a time change. We're no longer 8 p.m. Eastern. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be 11 p.m. UTC. So check that out. That's next Sunday, March 24th. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Thank you, Griffin Gaming RPG. Thank you, Jade, for making that discussion enjoyable. Hope you had fun.
Thank you. I did.
And Griffin gonna be quiet, so I guess he didn't have fun. No, I'm kidding.
No, I didn't have any fun. Bored out of my skull.
He's bored out of your skull. So yeah, thank you for that. I hope everybody had fun. If you want to follow us on social media, we're Soul Citizens with an S on the end everywhere. If you want to support us, you can buy merchandise. There's a link down below, or you can join our Patreon. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and follow depending on what platform you're on. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you can know when we go live. And we are going to raid TV Liquid. We're going to raid TV Liquid. So make sure you send them my love. So with that, peace, love, and soul. Take care, everybody.